Hi! Now and then I come across a smart home product that blows my mind and that I definitely want to own. I had been searching for a robotic lawnmower for years, but the fact that you had to lay a wire around your lawn to make it work properly always deterred me. But now I received the Luba 2 AWD series from Mammotion and it works without needing to install a perimeter cable around your lawn. And it's almost perfect. Almost. First of all, I'm not getting paid for this video, okay? I admit that Mammotion sent me this robot mower and I didn't have to pay for it, but other than that, this review is an honest one where I share my experience and opinion about this device with you. When the box arrived, I was surprised by its enormous weight. The Luba 2 itself weighs more than 17 kilograms. That seems heavy, but it makes it very stable on your lawn and it can climb fairly steep inclines. Inside the box you'll find the Luba 2 itself and several accessories to install it. At first I was a little worried that the installation might be very complex due to all these accessories, but it turned out to be quite manageable, as I'll show you shortly. To start with, there's a very thin manual in the box which gave me hope that the installation wouldn't be too difficult. The bumper is separately packed and needs to be mounted on the robot mower later. The RTK unit is a round device that ensures precise localization of the robot mower. You can mount it on the two tubes provided in the box. Then there's of course a substantial power adapter included and a tripod to secure the tubes for the RTK module into the ground. Additionally, there's a significantly long extension cable so that the base station can be placed at a considerable distance from a power outlet. There are also some accessories included, such as ground screws to secure the base station and extra blades for the lawnmower. And there's a camera unit included to help avoid obstacles on your lawn. I'll show you how to install that shortly. And then there's of course the lawnmower itself. This thing is massive. What a machine! It feels very sturdy and heavy and it looks a bit like a race car. What an amazing design this Luba 2 has. I'm sure it can handle rough terrain with ease. Of course, this lawnmower comes with a base station for charging it. But that's not all. Mammotion also sent me a garage, which is nothing more than a cover that hovers above the Luba 2 to protect it from harsh weather conditions. And additionally, I received a separate rod to mount the RTK unit on a wall. Let's take a look at what this product has to offer. There are 4 models, the 10,000, 5,000, 3,000 and 1,000 versions. Each version represents the number of square meters that this robot can mow. In fact, each version has a different battery capacity, more in-app storage capacity and different maximum multi-zone settings. For example, the 1000 version can mow 1000 square meters while the 5000 can mow 5000 square meters. Apart from that, all models are the same. The key feature of the Luba 2 is that it works without a perimeter cable, so you don't need to lay a cable around your garden. This Luba 2 works with an RTK antenna, which stands for real-time kinematic. Essentially, it determines its position using GPS and 3D vision. With its large rubber tires and weight, this robot mower can handle all sorts of heavy off-road conditions. It can even handle slopes up to 80%, which is very useful if you live in a mountainous area. I live in the Netherlands where everything is flat, so that's not so relevant for me. You can set up multiple zones via the very comprehensive app, create schedules for each separate zone and even create channels where the robot drives from one zone to another, continue mowing there. This is handy if, for example, you have a front yard and a backyard and the robot needs to drive over a part from your backyard to your front yard. When setting up tasks, you can adjust various settings to ensure that your grass is mowed in the most efficient way possible. I'll show you that in the app shortly. Of course, this robot has voice control, so you can start and stop it via Alexa and Google. The Luba 2 has 3D vision, so it doesn't collide with objects on your lawn. Additionally, it has a bumper that prevents it from continuing to drive if it does collide with something. However, it doesn't detect small objects, so if there's dog poop on your lawn, it won't stop for that. Another real cool feature is that this robot has onboard GPS tracking, so you can always find it if someone takes it from your garden. Furthermore, an alarm goes off if the Luba 2 is lifted. This mower also has a physical stop button that you can press if there's an acute problem. Let's go ahead and install the mower. I had to assemble some parts, but even for someone who isn't very technical, it's easy to do. First, I had to install the camera unit. It's just a matter of loosening 4 screws and placing the unit. Then I had to attach the bumper, and that was all for the robot mower itself. You place the charging station somewhere where the RTK antenna has a clear view as possible for good GPS reception. Installing the RTK antenna is also straightforward. You screw a few tubes together and then screw the antenna on top. Using a tripod, you can then press the antenna into the ground. If you don't have a spot where you can place your base station and antenna with a clear line of sight to the sky, you can also install it using the separately available wall bracket. My RTK antenna isn't positioned perfectly yet, so I'll probably use this wall bracket in the future. Overall, I think I spent about 15 minutes connecting everything. And now we get to the part where it turned out that the Mammotion Luba 2 is almost perfect. To set up this robot lawnmower, you need a Wi-Fi connection or a 4G connection via a SIM card. I didn't install a SIM card into my lawnmower, so I'm using my Wi-Fi connection. The Wi-Fi signal in my garden is quite strong because I have several access points around my house, so normally all my devices have good reception in my garden. You first need to establish a Bluetooth connection with the robot lawnmower, and then the mower needs to connect to the Wi-Fi access point you've chosen to complete the rest of the installation. I must have tried to connect via my Wi-Fi about 20 times, but I kept getting a message that Wi-Fi wasn't available even though the mower could see the access point. Eventually, I decided to bring the mower inside and placed it near my router, and suddenly it worked. I have no idea what caused this issue, but after a brief search on Google, I found out that I wasn't the only one experiencing this problem. It was quite frustrating for me, to say the least. Anyway, once the Wi-Fi connection was finally established, the latest firmware was automatically installed on the Luba 2 and I could move on to the next step. Now I had to control the robot lawnmower with the app as if it were a remote controlled car and drive it along the edges of my lawn. This allows it to determine the area it will later mow. That went pretty well. Besides creating the area, you can also adjust the area later, define no-go zones and set up channels allowing the robot, for example, to cross over a path from one area to another. After determining the area, I could create tasks to schedule when the robot should mow which area. You can set various options such as path configurations and mowing height. Next, the mowing itself. As you can see, the tires are large and made of rubber and hard plastic. And the Luba 2 has sturdy springs allowing it to easily navigate rough terrain. At the bottom, this robot lawnmower has 2 cutting plates that can be adjusted from 25 to 100 mm. You can mow manually by using the app as a remote control or automatically through the tasks that you've set up beforehand. What's really funny is that you have a POV view via the camera on the robot lawnmower, allowing you to ride along with the mower, so to speak. You won't use this very often, but if the Luba 2 gets stuck somewhere, at least you can see what's going on. When the battery is running low during mowing, the Luba 2 automatically returns to the charging station to recharge and resumes the mowing session once it's recharged. You can set different levels of obstacle avoidance so that the Luba 2 can avoid obstacles based on its sensors or its bumper. As you can see, my lawn isn't very nice, but that's not because of this lawnmower. I simply haven't maintained my grass very well over the past year, and I expect it to look much better with the help of this robot lawnmower. So far, the mowing results look really good. The Luba 2 also has some additional options, such as the ability to connect a solar panel to the RTK unit. Additionally, it can detect rain, and based on that you can decide whether it should or should not mow. The sound level is below 60 decibels, so really low. The Luba 2 itself is IPX6 waterproof and the RTK reference station is IPX7 waterproof. Mammotion has informed me that they will release a new firmware update in May, which includes lawn printing technology. With this feature you can have your own patterns mowed into the grass. This seems like a fun gimmick, but I don't expect to use it myself. And then the price. This Mammotion Luba 2 is a high-end robot lawnmower and therefore not cheap. Or so it seems. Model 1000 costs €2,284, Model 3000 costs €2,684 and Model 5000 costs €3,084. Model 10000 is only available for purchase in the USA and costs $4,178. Now, that price may seem very high when compared to the prices of the smaller models you can buy at the hardware store, But if you compare this price with truly comparable robot lawnmowers, then it's not so bad. The Husqvarna 3200 costs €3,899, which is much more expensive than the comparable Luba 2, which costs €2,684, for example. If you want to purchase this Luba 2 robot lawnmower, please do me a favor and use the affiliate link you can find in the description of this video. That way I'll get a small bonus and it won't cost you anything extra. Oh, and there's one more reason why this robot lawnmower is almost perfect. You cannot connect it to Home Assistant. This was my review of the Mammotion Luba 2. I'm quite impressed with this robot lawnmower despite the problems I had connecting it via Wi-Fi. Mammotion has told me that they might be working on realizing a connection with Home Assistant, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy my videos and want to support me, consider sponsoring me with a small monthly amount just like these fantastic people do. Without your help, I can't continue this channel. I do this work full time and unfortunately the income from YouTube ads is not enough to cover my expenses. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you also leave a comment under the video, you'll help me a lot. YouTube will then recommend this video to more people. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye bye! Or with the help of this robot lawnmower. Decibels. The sound... decibels. Okay.